Mac Engel, of course, from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Mike Leslie is with us as well. And you guys, let's just jump into this thing. Cowboys just scored seconds ago to make it 13-10. And listen, Mac, I'll start with you. And let's start with the fact that this is an ugly game thanks to all the weather. It's one of those fields where it's a muddy, slow track. And I'll be doggone if I don't think it's not helping the Dallas Cowboys. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it is. But I don't want to necessarily just say it's the field because these two offenses look so bad. I think these offenses look pretty bad because they are. Brandon Albee right now should hold out. He should leave the team immediately until they make him the highest paid player in the history of the NFL and pro sports combined, for that matter, because right now he is their best weapon. I realize the Cowboys have the NFL's highest paid wide receiver and quarterback, but right now their most consistent, best offensive player is their kicker. This team should be up right now 23 to whatever. They should, but Dak Prescott has struggled in the red zone, and I got to give him this. They might come out of Pittsburgh with a win.
That would be amazing. Mike, what's your take just overall in general on this game so far?
Yeah, it's been ugly. It has been very ugly, and it's been one of Dak Prescott's, frankly, worst games that we've seen from him in a very long time. Those two red zone turnovers. The smartest thing they did on this most recent drive, finally connecting with Rico Dowdle for the touchdown, was they didn't make it to the red zone. They scored from the 22. Apparently, that's the only way that they can do it tonight. It has been ugly for this football team, and sure, the weather factors into it, but I think Mac's absolutely right. This is reflective of who this Cowboys offense is, has been, and will be when your only real weapon is CeeDee Lamb. This is what it's going to look like. Teams are going to take him away, and you're going to be left with not a whole lot else. Rico Dowdle has been decent today. They found at least a smidge of a run game in this second half. He's now at 13 for 56, 4.3 yards per carry. So they've got at least a little bit of something working on the ground in this ugly, awful football game. But yeah, this is who the Cowboys offense is.
Yeah, you stole my thunder there, Mike, because I was going to go there. But I'll continue on that thread because the Cowboys' run game had been completely dysfunctional before. Even with just a smidgen, even with just a glimpse of what a running game could be, at least we saw him go down the field and score a touchdown just now, and Dak Prescott actually paid it off with the pass to Rico Dowdle. So interesting, good development, but unfortunately, and I think this is what I'd like to talk about more, the overall and overarching theme is that there just isn't enough juice and firepower and explosiveness on this offense for it to be a long-term success. And listen, Dak Prescott has played awful tonight, but part of what it means when you have this kind of offensive setup is he has to be perfect. Right? It's an unfair ask in the NFL that quarterbacks have to be perfect because, oh, by the way, those guys who are chasing him get paid too. But he can't play as badly as he has. But what's your take, Mac, on the fact that Dak has to be perfect?
I think you're right. I think, the fact of the matter is they don't really have any threat in the running game, although, Mike said it, Rico Dowdle's had a nice game tonight, a little bit. It's the best game we've seen from any running back they've shown this season. They don't really have anything else other than CD and Jake Ferguson sometimes. Brandon Cooks isn't an option because he's not playing tonight, but I mean, to count on him is too much. Jalen Tolbert has shown something, but to sit there and say, well, he's a reliable threat is a total stretch. They just don't have any, they don't have anybody. They just don't have any firepower. So if that's the way it's going to be, then Dak Prescott has to make plays and be perfect. And that first turnover he had tonight, he's got to recognize who's one-on-one with Terrence Steele, and that's T.J. Watt. He's got to recognize that, and he's got to get the ball out of his hands right away. He didn't. He held on to it too long, got hit, coughed it up. There goes a scoring chance. The other one in the red zone, the pass attempt to CeeDee Lamb, it might have been a miscommunication. Maybe CD ran the wrong route. I don't know. You can't make that throw. You just can't make that mistake and expect for this team to be able to overcome them consistently. They might tonight because Justin Fields against the Dallas defense looks terrible for the most part. And Dallas's defense should get a lot of credit. But for the most part, I think you hit on it. If this is the way these games are going to be played and it's going to be that, the margins are going to be that tight, your quarterback has to be almost flawless, and that's too much to ask.
That's a heck of a segue because we've done a lot of talking about the offense. We'll switch our focus to the defense when we come back. Stay with us in the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. Joe Trahan, along with Andrew Seeley. We've got Mike Leslie, as well as Mac Engel. And we're having fun. We're doing a little TV, watching some football on the side while trying to continue to do that TV. It's what we do here on the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. And listen, early in this Cowboys game, tough sights for Cowboys fans. Marshawn Nealon, the rookie, of course, who is seeing a lot more time and was going to see a lot more time because Micah Parsons and Tank Lawrence are both hurt. He gets hurt early in this game. And then later, fellow rookie Tyler Guyton gets hurt as well, the left tackle. When the injury bug bites, it's not supposed to feel this way, but it is clamping down and not letting loose on your Dallas Cowboys. Mike, how do you see this impact playing out with another couple of guys? You know, we don't know how long they'll be out, but tough nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, for Nealon to go down, especially with how thin they are at defensive end already, is just criminal. They are so hard up at that position. I don't really know what their pathway out from this scenario is, other than just to hope like heck that Micah Parsons can come back for the Lions game. But I don't know that that's the smart play. Giving him an extra couple weeks might be the better decision for his future. They're in a really, really bad spot with their defensive ends. And on the offensive line, I'm not sure that this won't be fine for them because Tyler Smith is really good at left tackle, and maybe kicking him out there and having TJ Pass play left guard could work out okay for him. The offense is already broken anyway, so what difference does it make? I have been kind of a little bit impressed with the defense tonight. We were expecting this to be an ugly football game just because Pittsburgh's offense isn't very good, but they've only got 177 yards tonight. What the Dallas defense has done so far, they've got to come up with at least one more stop for sure, but what they've done so far has not been that bad.
No, I mean, it really hasn't. When you think about all the bodies that the Cowboys defense is missing, and listen, the Steelers are nowhere near playing at full strength as well, especially on their offense. Mm-hmm. So that's problematic. But listen, in the battle of attrition, at least for now, the Cowboys have a very slight advantage. But when you talk about attrition, it leads me to the next question I have for you, Mac. And it's about how this affects how you would grade Mike McCarthy. Listen, I don't think he should get any break on this. I'm curious if anyone does think he should get a break on that. And I'll start with you, Mac, but I'll throw it out to the panel.
I don't know how you can't factor in significant players who aren't playing when you evaluate a head coach. Now, I realize it's not a quarterback. It's totally different. Mike's first season, they didn't have Dak Prescott a huge chunk of that year, so you almost throw it away. But considering who they're missing now and who they're left with, I think it does weigh in a little bit when you look at Mike McCarthy's performance overall. But I don't think it's one of those things where you would say, would that save his job? No, I don't think so. But I think it's also one of those factors that you say, well, okay, why did we not play this well? Why didn't we win this game? Well, we're missing this guy, and this guy, and we had to get a bum off the street to come in and fill in on third downs. That does play a role. But in this situation, in this season, after 5 years, I don't think that these kinds of absences are ultimately going to be the reason why he is or is not back.
Guys?
I think I'll jump in here and echo those sentiments because we've seen this version of McCarthy's offense with a different quarterback in Green Bay before in Aaron Rodgers. And at least with Rodgers' case, for the better part of his career, he was perfect and was able to lead teams to victories. We're kind of seeing that Dak isn't necessarily that caliber. It's not that he's not a good quarterback to an MVP candidate, but he's not an Aaron Rodgers, and that's going to make a huge difference for this offense moving forward. And I think we already looked at McCarthy as a bit of a lame duck heading into the season. So regardless of how this thing plays out, maybe if you stun over the next couple of weeks here the Lions or the Niners, and we can allow ourselves to dream just a tad, maybe if they knock off some of the heavyweights in the NFC, they can change the picture a little bit. But as it is right now, it's a broken team that feels like it doesn't have a rudder heading in the right direction, regardless of who's going to be the head coach. And that's going to be something that this team needs to address one way or the other. Mike, what do you think?
Fellas, it just got worse. Zach Martin just left the field and is questionable to return. That one, yeah, should impact the evaluation of Mike McCarthy. If they don't have him, now this is, I think, maybe 15 seconds old. This just happened on the last play that he left. And I'm already seeing some tweets that it may just be IV related. It may just be dehydration. So don't necessarily think that he's done for the night. But he did leave the field and had to be carted off the field. Listen, these injuries, they have to matter. They have to matter in how you evaluate what a coach does, because how do you fairly evaluate what he does as a coach if you don't have Micah Parsons, your best defensive player? That has to matter, but it's not going to. If this season continues down the path that it's going, there's going to be somebody else running this team next August.
But the question I have to follow up on that, we've seen so many teams with backup quarterbacks. Heck, in Green Bay right now, Matt LaFleur with a backup quarterback won both of his games without Jordan Love back there. There are ways to win games when you're injured and you don't have that opportunity to do so, and you're seeing it through scheme, you're seeing it through better personnel up front. It's not just this put it all on the quarterback's shoulders and let it ride.
I will say this, scheme-wise, I saw more wide-open receivers for the Cowboys in this game than I saw in the first four combined. So scheme-wise, Mike's not doing half bad in this one.
Hey.
Right? And,
all it required was to see one, and you've already surpassed that total.
The bar was not very high at all, but he crossed it.